I'm Dani Gasparini, and welcome to this segment of Penn Voice. I am joined today by Guneet Walia, who is the Medical Director and Research Director for the Bonnie J. Addario Lung Cancer Foundation. That is a mouthful. Guneet, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So before we sort of talk about what you do as the Medical and Research Director, tell us a little bit about the Bonnie J. Addario Lung Cancer Foundation.
Sure. So the Bonnie J. Addario Lung Cancer Foundation is a nonprofit advocacy group that works with patients, that works with researchers, pharma, media, you name it, all the stakeholders in the healthcare delivery ecosystem. And I'll share a little bit of a background on how we came about and who we are, why we are here. So Bonnie Addario, who is now a 12-year lung cancer survivor, was diagnosed 12 years ago. And at that time, her doctors said, go home and prepare to die. Get your affairs in order.
She was diagnosed with lung cancer,
yes,
obviously.
Yes, stage 3B lung cancer. And she was told, go home, prepare to die. And people who know Bonnie know that Bonnie is not one to take no for an answer. She fought and she fought and she fought, and she found a doctor who was willing to operate on her. And we have Bonnie here with us today, 12 years after. And Bonnie at that time, when she was going through all of this, decided, if I get through this, I'm going to make sure that other patients don't have to experience the same thing I did.
That they only have that one answer,
yes.
Get your affairs in order.
Instantly, yes. And, and that there's a solution and that there's hope. And that's the hope that she wanted to provide, and that's how the foundation came about.
Right.
And through the foundation, we provide patient education and support. We raise awareness around lung cancer. We fund research around lung cancer to identify new drugs, new treatments, new diagnostics. We run clinical trials and research studies from within the foundation. So we do multiple things. Bonnie was doing all of this, and then in about 2008, she got all the key top doctors in the lung cancer space together in one place, and she asked them, if, say, suppose money were no object, what is the one thing that you need to make lung cancer a chronically managed disease? And the unanimous answer from all these doctors at that time was, we need a neutral facilitator. We need somebody who can be, who can host all biospecimens in lung cancer, who can host data, and offer this as a resource for us to do research on.
Typically, it's done in silos.
In silos.
Your own research institute
Absolutely.
Captures the tissue and data and keeps it for themselves.
Yes, and people don't usually collaborate across institutions, across disciplines. So they said, for us to spur research and get to treatments
faster,
quicker, faster, we need somebody to do this for us and host them and spur collaboration. So that led to the genesis of our second organization, the Addario Lung Cancer Medical Institute, ALCMI, or Alchemy, which is now an international research consortium of over 25 member institutions in the US, in Europe, and in Asia. And what we do within this consortium is we provide an infrastructure which has common biorepositories, common data repositories, and we run clinical trials, we run research studies. But the basis of all of this, the foundation, is everything has to be patient-centric. It has to move the needle for patient benefit today.
Whether it's on the foundation side, the Bonnie J. Addario Lung Cancer Foundation side, or whether it's on the research alchemy side.
Absolutely.
Patients at the center.
Absolutely. So that's what drives us on a daily basis. And our goal is to help make lung cancer a chronically managed disease. What I mean by that, a disease that's similar to diabetes, something that you take drugs for, that you can control,
right.
that you
Heart
can
disease.
Manage. Absolutely.
So if I were to look at the model, and I would say, well, I've heard about the American Lung Association, I've heard about some other foundations. What sets this foundation apart? You've said patients, that's at the center.
Absolutely.
It's unique in the sense that we have Bonnie here with us 13 years later.
Yes.
So what is that one driving unique factor?
You said it right. We have Bonnie, we have a survivor, we have a 12-year lung cancer survivor that works with us on a daily basis, giving hope to patients and caregivers and everybody that if she could do it, you can do it too. You have to be your own advocate. That's one. The other thing is, in addition to working with patients and caregivers, we also work with researchers, and not just in the academic setting. We work with researchers in the community setting as well as in pharma. And what we try to do is we try to bring all of them together so that they can do studies and work together. And I'll give you an example. So we know 80% of all patients, cancer patients, are seen in the community setting, right? And typically, traditionally, the standards of care in the community setting are not on par as that seen in a bigger academic center.
Sure,
right?
It's a general oncologist. They don't specifically only look at lung cancer patients.
Absolutely. So, Bonnie decided several years ago that how about we mandate that these community centers deliver the same standards of care as that seen in the academic setting, right? And that was the genesis of what we call our Community Centers of Excellence program, or our COE program, where we go to these high lung cancer patient volume centers in the community setting, and we mandate certain standards of care, like multidisciplinary care, like molecular testing, access to immunotherapy, targeted drugs, etc. So what we're trying to do is that every patient everywhere in the United States and abroad should get the same standards of care.
Guneet, I assume that was happening.
Unfortunately, Dani, it is not. It still is not.
Because is that because the information is so rapid and so moving so quickly that someone who is seeing oncology patients across the board, whether it's breast, prostate, lung, colon, isn't receiving the information fast enough or becoming an expertise, whereas in the university setting, that tends to be someone's very specific focus.
Absolutely.
So these learnings here are then now being transferred to the community level, and you can deliver those protocols or that standard of care at the community setting.
Absolutely. Okay. And I'll give you an example. Like, for example, last year, 7 new drugs were approved for lung cancer, which is unprecedented, has probably not happened in the last 1 decade. Right? Just in 1 year, 7 new drugs were approved just for lung cancer. And, expecting community physicians to keep track of all of these new approvals in 1 year, in addition to tracking, breast, prostate, colon, brain cancer, and all the other kinds of cancer that they treat, this is asking for a bit too much. So what we do...
paint the picture. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So this is what we do through our COEs. So, we work with the physicians in the community setting. We're already working with physicians in the academic setting. What we try to do is we try to bring them together. And when we run research studies, and I'll give you an example how we do this. We recently launched a study called the Genomics of Young Lung Cancer Study, where we're looking at why increasingly there's an incidence of lung cancer in people under the age of 40. These extremely healthy, never smoker, fit people are being diagnosed with lung cancer. So why is that happening?
Right.
What's different in their tumors compared to that, of a traditional, typical 65, 70-year-old lung cancer patient? So we launched this study. And what we decided was, we're not going to limit it to just one center. We decided to open it up to all patients all over the world. We allowed patients to remotely consent online through our website, consent to the study, participate in the study. We did the molecular testing for them and sent results back to their physician so that the physician could then make the right clinical decisions. So this way we are involving everybody. We are involving the patients. We are going directly to the patients. We are involving their physician. We are involving physicians at a bigger academic center and having them all work together to benefit the patient today.
So these sound like very sophisticated programs and ones that dive very deep with the patient at the core.
Absolutely. How
do you fund them?
That's an interesting question, Dani. Funding, there are several streams of funding for the foundation. We receive funds from, we have several events, fundraising events, where patients, caregivers, and their family members fundraise for the foundation. We have many pharma supporters who fund studies and specific projects that impact patients. We have a couple high net worth individuals who donate to the foundation.
So they have a high affinity for lung cancer and said, I just don't want anybody else to have to go through what I've gone through, or have a family member.
Yeah, so there are several revenue streams in that sense. And I encourage your listeners, if you are motivated by this, if you want to help a lung cancer patient today, please donate to the foundation. It's lungcancerfoundation.org/donate.
Right.
Very simple.
Great. Guneet, thank you so much. I think we have to have you back because we are all out of time. But I encourage everyone to jump on the website. Will be at the end of the program and learn how they can participate, learn how to give this information, because I believe it's something like 1 in 14 people will be diagnosed with lung cancer, or you will know of someone that has been. Direct them to the Bonnie J. Addario Lung Cancer Foundation immediately is what we want to say to the community. And they can also get involved. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see all of you next time on Penn Voice.